Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angel and today I'm going to be sharing with you some more fun and simple DIYs. Before we get started, as always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click that little notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of my future videos. For these first few projects, I wanted to show you all how I made this cute little tea towel ladder with Dollar Tree wood, and also how I made some stuff to decorate it with. To start out, I'm going to show you how I made my tea towel ladder. I'm just going to be using 4 pieces of this Dollar Tree wood. I got 2 of the smaller thick pieces and then 2 of the longer thin pieces. Now I did go ahead and drill holes into my wood. You don't have to use screws to hold this. You can of course just use wood glue, which I would recommend if you are going to glue this together. I went ahead and screwed in my wood together using these small screws that I already had on hand. But again, you can just wood glue this together. And of course, as always, if you want to stain or paint this, you could. Now I'm going to show you some pieces that I made to go with my little ladder. For this first project, I found this cute little cutting board at Dollar Tree, and I decided to make a snowman out of it. So I'm just going to paint that white with my white Waverly chalk paint, and then I started to draw my snowman face with my pencil. Once I had it all drawn out, I just went in with some black paint to do the eyes and the mouth, and then of course with some of my orange paint for the carrot nose. I also just took a little cotton ball and some pink paint to give my little snowman, which is actually a snow girl, some little pink rosy cheeks. And then all that was left to do was add a little bow at the top. You can use any ribbon you'd like. I got this ribbon from Dollar Tree last Christmas. For the next project I'm making to go with my little ladder, I'll be using this wood hexagon and also this wood Mary sign and 2 of the little wood snowflakes, all from Dollar Tree. The first thing I did for this little sign was just paint my Mary sign white, but I'm leaving the reindeer at the end because I'll be painting that a different color. And as always, you can paint these any color that go with your decor or your style. To match the colors I'm going with this Christmas, I am just going to be painting my reindeer that sage green color that I've been using in all my other videos. And then the last thing I had to do was just glue my sign all together. I'm just going to be using some of Dollar Tree's wood glue. You can, of course, use hot glue or super glue if you would prefer. And then the final thing that I made to go with my little ladder is I wanted to make some beaded garland, but instead of tassels, I wanted to make it a little different. So I used these reindeer ornaments that I got from Dollar Tree. And in case you're wondering, I did purchase my beads from Amazon, but you can get wood beads from a hobby store or Walmart. And I have heard that some Dollar Trees do carry wood beads. And here's a look at how it all turned out together. I just added in a towel from Dollar Tree and also one of their larger reindeer ornaments. And I think it came out just adorable. And of course, you can always customize any of these projects to fit your style. For this next project, we'll just be using 3 of these square wood pieces from Dollar Tree and also 3 of these rectangle wood pieces. So the first thing I wanted to do was make these pieces of wood just a little darker, so I watered down some of my beige paint, and I am going to stain these pieces of wood with that. And then the only other thing you'll need for this project is one of Dollar Tree's nautical ropes. All I did was untwist these ropes to get 3 smaller pieces. Then all I had to do was start making the shape of a Christmas tree with this nautical rope, and I decided to do each one just a little different, and all I'm using here is just some hot glue to glue down these pieces of rope as I'm shaping them into Christmas trees. The stem of each Christmas tree, I'm just using a smaller piece of this nautical rope as well. This project was super simple. All you have to do is just shape this rope however you'd like, and it's very easy to shape and twist, and because it has that kind of little curl going to the rope, it makes it all the more beautiful. And for my final one, I just cut small pieces of that rope, and I'm going to be hot gluing them to do kind of a layered Christmas tree. And for the final step of this simple project, I just hot glued those Christmas trees to the smaller square wood pieces to make a base. And here's a look at how they turned out. For my next project, we'll just be using 3 of those little square pieces of wood again from Dollar Tree, and also some of their pearl beads, as well as some of the cinnamon scented pine cones. Now, I did pick these up at my local grocery store, but I have heard that Dollar Tree does carry pine cones around the Christmas season. I, of course, did these quite a while back, so they didn't have them in just yet. Now, the first thing I did was just remove some of the bottom part of my pine cones because I wanted to be able to glue them down onto my little square wood pieces. I also decided to use some of these little wood stars that I got from Dollar Tree for the tops of my pine cone Christmas trees. Again, this is just another super easy DIY. All I had to do from here was start hot gluing those little pearls onto my pine cones. You can do any pattern or add as many as you'd like. I decided to do the whole thing for 2 of them, and then for my last one, I didn't put any pearls on it at all. And here's a final look at how my little pine cone Christmas trees turned out. This next project is probably one of my favorites in this video. I'll just be using 2 of those little display cases. And I was super excited to finally find some of these wood rounds at my Dollar Tree. I've never seen them at Dollar Tree before, but I've seen other people use them who have got them from Dollar Tree, and I was finally able to find some. However, if you can't find any, you can of course just use some of those wood squares that I used in my previous projects. Now, the one thing I haven't been able to find at my local Dollar Trees is their Crafter's Square air dry clay, so I went ahead and picked this up from Walmart. But if your Dollar Tree carries the Crafter's Square air dry clay, you could pick that up for this project. So all we're going to be doing for this project is making some little snowmen from that air dry clay. So I am just rolling up some balls right here, and we are just going to make 2 of those snowmen for our display cases. Now for these snowmen, they did have to dry for about 24 hours to harden, so make sure you are making these the day before you want to complete this project. But before I let my snowmen dry, I went outside and found some tiny little twigs in my yard to use for their arms, and I went ahead and inserted those into the snowmen. I also went ahead and made some little hats for the snowmen, and I'm just pressing a little piece down for the bottom, and then I'm making a cube shape for the top of the hat. Then I just let all of that dry overnight. This is what they look like the next morning, and I went ahead and painted their little hats with some of my black chalk paint. Before I decided to glue everything down, I went ahead and traced out the little plastic tops onto the wood pieces just so I would know where to place everything. Now, I did try to use hot glue on this. It did not work, so I ended up having to use some of Dollar Tree's gel super glue, and I went ahead and pulled out some of these bottle brush trees to add in as well. Since I had to use the gel super glue to put the little hats on the snowmen, I went ahead and just used that for everything. Now, I also decided to use some of Dollar Tree's fake snow, but instead of putting it in the top and then turning these over and gluing them down like that, I just decided to put some hot glue on those little wood rounds and then shake over some of that snow and pat it down. I know this is a lot more messy than if you were to just put it in the little display part and then tip it over, but I like the way it turned out, and I didn't want to put too much snow in these. And here's a final look at how my little snowman display cases turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.